Let's talk about React2Shell, the latest high CVSS score vulnerability. I'm going to talk very briefly about what it is, and then I want to cover two takeaways from it. So React2Shell is a vulnerability that was recently published in the React and Next.js frameworks. And it's basically a bug in the deserialization protocol. And what this means is that any remote unauthenticated attacker can send a specially crafted HTTP request. It exploits this bug, and they can execute arbitrary code on the server. So this is a big problem. Now, this is well documented. It's a big deal in the news right now today. And we have not yet seen active exploits of it, but we anticipate this is going to be coming very, very quickly. So number one, do some research. I'm posting a link to an excellent article from the folks at Wiz Research about this, as well as one from Endor Labs. So take a look at that around this. And obviously, you need to find out to what degree this exists in your environment, to what degree you're vulnerable, and to apply the patches immediately. This is a high priority. The two takeaways are, first of all, this is a really good example, I think number 5,732, of why allowing arbitrary network access to services is a bad idea and simply unnecessarily exposes your attack surface. So, of course, these are vulnerabilities in web servers, and some of those web servers are by design public. They are public websites. So there's no getting around that. But for any set of services that you're building that are intended for a private or restricted audience, anywhere there's a login that has to happen, you should absolutely consider, why does this need to be publicly facing? Can we put it behind some sort of network level protection, whether it's source IP restrictions, ideally some sort of ZTNA, zero trust type approach, where you do have authentication for the end users. Doing that will immediately reduce the risk and the attack surface of that by a significant amount, if that's technically possible, if you can ask those users, those clients, those devices, those systems to either access it from a known IP address if it's a server, or from a user's device with a piece of software installed on it. The number two takeaway around this is that you're probably going through this SBOM Scramble right now, right? You're going through and trying to identify the software bill of materials in all of your systems that you're building or have purchased, licensed from a vendor or deployed that might be vulnerable to this. This is a huge pain in the neck. It's a huge headache. It's a huge disruption. And I think the takeaway from this should be, of course, do a proper job at this, but also let's use this as a catalyst to never have to do this again. And how do you do that? It's by enforcing a little bit more discipline and governance around the process of deploying software, whether it's on-prem software, cloud-hosted software, or SaaS, or platform as a service systems. This is a really good example of this huge pain in the neck for you, for the developer team, for the application owners, that really should not happen in your environment. What you absolutely need to do is start to put in place processes and tools so that for any piece of software that gets deployed, whether it's custom built, whether it's purchased, whether it's SaaS-based, is that you have a proper and deep inventory of this. This has to be a factor, a gating factor, before you allow your organization to deploy software like this. Because if you don't have this visibility, you're faced with this SBOM Scramble. If you do, imagine how much easier this would be. You have an accurate report that you're confident in. You simply run the report. You see, okay, we've got 157 systems. 15 of them are vulnerable. Great, let's get on it. And you completely avoid this mad scramble, the stress, and the unknown of how many systems are out there that are running this vulnerable software that we're not aware of. So I want to encourage you to, of course, patch. If you have to go through the SBOM Scramble in the next couple of days, you have to do it, and vow to never do this again. I think that because this is going to be a pain in the neck, not just for you, but for your developers, for your application team, for probably a fairly wide group of users inside your organization, use this as an opportunity to say, hey, folks, let's up our game here. We're going to put in place some processes around this, and that way we never have to do this SBOM Scramble again. So that, I think, is going to be the biggest takeaway from this. Thank you. Stay safe out there and have a good day.